Hello children, I am Divya Saraswat and today we are going to continue our chapter Indian Economy on the eve of independence with the help of part 2. Our learning objectives of this video are the same as we are having in part 1 to become familiar with the state of Indian economy in 1947 in the year on independence. Understand the factor that led to the underdevelopment and stagnation of the Indian economy. Now, topics to be covered through this video are foreign trade, demographic profile, occupational structure and infrastructure. And in last video we had covered three topics. Foreign trade. India has been an important trading nation since ancient time, but when the Britishers came to India, it was restrictive policies pursued by them, the colonial government, which was adversely affect the structure, composition and volume of India's foreign trade. Before Britishers' rule, India was well-known exporter of finished goods such as cotton, silk, textile, iron goods, wooden goods, ivory goods and precious stone. India exporting finished goods with the help of their own raw material. But after or in the British rule, India was a net exporter of raw materials only. To whom? Mostly to Britain, such as raw silk, cotton, wool, sugar, indigo, jute, etc. and import finished good from their side, Britain, cotton, silk, woolen clothes, capital goods like light machineries. Because of discrimination, trade and tariff policy, we read in our last video in which the import and export both are tariff free to Britain. Okay, and this led to a surplus of balance of trade. Balance of trade, what is balance of trade? Balance of trade where export is greater than import. This is a situation of surplus. So here the export of raw material is greater than the import of finished good from Britain. So where this surplus is going to be used? The export surplus was used for making payment for the expenses incurred by an office set up by colonial government in Britain. It is directly used there to setting up an office in Britain, and expenses on war fought by British government. They are paying the expenses. Import of invisible item. Basically, this surplus came at a huge cost to India's country's economy. Somewhere we are importing the finished good from their side and exporting our raw material, but we are not getting any surplus from their side. So this drained the Indian wealth. More than half of Indian foreign trade was restricted to Britain, while the rest was allowed with a few countries like China, Ceylon, which is Sri Lanka now, and Persia, which is Iran now. Uh, Around 55 to 60% of trade, foreign trade, is to Britain, and rest of these countries. Suez Canal was opened in 1869. Suez Canal is the way, you can see here, let me show you. This is the way. Yeah, Mumbai. First we are going from this side. Mumbai, cross the Africa area, then move to Europe, London, which is around 12,300 miles, and in kilometer it is 19,800 kilometers. For reducing the way, they find another way which is through Suez Canal, like this, as you can see in the video. This is the shortest way comparatively, 7,200 miles, which is 11,600 kilometer. So what is the basic criteria for making this? It reduces the cost in time of transportation and make access to Indian market easier. Okay, we can easily export raw materials to their country and import the finished good to our country. In other words, exploitation of Indian market was easier now through this. Now, the demographic profile. Demographic profile, the first aspect is high birth rate and high death rate. Means to say this, 48% in 1000 it's our birth rate and 40% in 1000 is our death rate, which somewhere like कि birth ज़्यादा हो रहा है और डेथ भी ज़्यादा हो रहा है, तो समवेयर कोई टेक केयर करने वाला नहीं है, विच लीड्स टू पॉवर्टी. Okay, low survival rate due to this, and growth rate of population was not very high. Second one is infant mortality rate, death rate of children below age of 1 year. It was very high again, about 218 per thousand. Right now it is around 68 per thousand. So it is very high at that time. Life expectancy, average life of person was very low. It was very low. It was 32 years and around 68 years right now. Literacy rate, who can read and write, it was 16%, reflecting social backwardness. Female literacy rate, it's 7%, which shows gender biased society. Year of Great Divide, which is 1921. The population was first collected through census in 1881. Before 1921, India was in first stage of demographic transition. The second stage of transition is after 1921, where the total population of India nor the rate of population growth at this stage was very high. The year 1921 is described as the year of Great Divide. It is because 1921 population grew continuously and rapidly. Now, occupational structure, primary, secondary and tertiary sector. These are the three sectors of occupational structure. Agriculture is the main occupation at that time, we all know, which is the primary one. 72.7% of population was engaged at the time of on the eve of independence, whereas in America it is 2%, Japan it is 12%, Germany it is 4%. Somewhere this shows backwardness of Indian economy. Less growth of industries, 9% population was engaged in industries and mining. And US 32%, England 42%, Japan 39%. Again, this shows backwardness of Indian economy. This somewhere shows unbalanced growth because people are more engaged in primary sector where we are not getting any profit, and secondary sector there are few, and tertiary sector there is no one. Somewhere this is reflecting unbalanced growth. Now the next one is infrastructure. So in infrastructure, development in the area of transport and communication, introduction of railway, development of ports and roads, transition from barter system of exchange to monetary system of exchange. These are all the points showing somewhere that Britain has done so much for ourselves, but these are not for our country. These things has developed for them only. Transport area and communication area has developed for their export and import from India to Britain. Railway introduced so that the railway easily took the importing material to the other parts of India, and development of ports and roads are for the same also. Road ke through they can go to the port, and from port they can export a raw material to Britain, and through that the same way they can import the finished goods also. And transition from barter system of exchange to monetary system of exchange for the same only. Somewhere they are fostering the interest of British government rather than to accelerate the growth of Indian economy. Impact of railway. The British introduced the railway in India 1850. It considered one of the most important contributions. It affected the structure of India Railway in many ways. It enabled people to undertake long distance travel and thereby break geographical and cultural barriers, which are somewhere in positive manner. It helped in integrating the nation. It fostered commercialization of Indian agriculture, which adversely affected the self-sufficiency of village economies in India. It provided employment opportunities to the people also. Thank you for watching this video. Here the chapter is going to be end. Hope you learned.